Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Maps come with me. No. When do we start?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show.
I've missed you.
It's been a week.
I've missed you.
No, it's a week where we didn't see each other in the interim.
I've missed you.
Those are rare. I guess, yeah, maybe 50-50. I usually see you in between.
Sometimes I don't. This has been a rare but welcome reprieve from each other for 7 days.
Oh, I have nothing to talk about in the preamble.
Nothing? You have no preambling to do at all?
Not really.
There's no preamble ramble?
I have nothing really extra at the store. Everyone's aware of how things are.
What's the status of the boiler? We've got to finish out the boiler story arc.
Oh, I called them yesterday and paid for the repairs.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is people need to come to the store.
Well, I haven't paid them yet for the refill they did on my tank.
Oh, okay. Oh.
yeah. That was a fun $500.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, spring starts this week.
Oh boy.
No, I did. Okay, I'll give an addition to the preamble. I did something today as a prelude to something I'm going to do later this spring, early this summer that I thought I would never do, but I think I'm going to do it. This is going to help me determine if I do it or not.
Crack cocaine? You want to see if it's better than regular cocaine?
No.
You just got to mix it with baking soda. That's how you cut it.
What's wrong with you? No, it's actually kind of it's somewhat of a big deal. You've done this before.
Jail time?
No.
Okay. Then what?
Granted, jail time is a big deal, and yes, you probably have served the hardest of times. I do believe that those days were the hardest for Zach. So there's this company. Have you heard of this company called Inkbox?
No.
So what they do is you can send in a design, and they have some pre-made designs, and you can make your own custom henna ink tattoo.
Oh, you're getting a tattoo?
I think I'm going to get a tattoo this summer.
Okay. Didn't you say you want to do that with you want to get the state of Maine or something?
I want to get an outline of Maine on my upper right arm. So what this company does, they specialize in making these tattoos, which are like Hollywood movie quality fake tattoos that last 12 to 14 days.
Okay.
And they look like they'll fade like a normal tattoo after a couple of days.
So you're going to test it out to see if you like it?
Exactly.
Okay.
I think it's a smart use of $30.
Yeah, that's cheap.
Because I get to see if I like it, and if I don't like it, then I don't have to. I'm not stuck with it. You know what I mean?
Whereas I have a bunch of tattoos, and I was like, I could do without them.
Yeah, and now you're here saying, man, I wish I didn't have that tattoo of Jared's face on my arm.
I have 9, and if I could get rid of 3, I would. Which one do you use your favorite? My favorite?
Without giving away too much, because I know some of your tattoos you don't like to talk about.
Probably the one on my shoulder blade. I think that's probably my favorite.
The Serenity one?
Well, you're like, we're not going to give details.
Well, no, I mean, I figured that was an okay one to give away.
Yeah, I like, one of them. I like the one on my back probably the most.
I was going to say the one above your ass.
It is technically, yeah. it's the one closest to it, I guess.
Your tramp stamp?
I mean, a bit higher up. But yeah.
Higher up and to the side.
So maybe you'll get a tattoo. When are you doing that?
They're actually on a backlog of orders, so it's probably 30 days before my thing comes in.
All right.
So then I'll put it on. And
you got to slap it on yourself?
Yeah.
All right.
Did you want to do it?
Not really.
I mean, you're more than welcome to apply it.
I can rub you down.
I think part of it's you got to hold it in place for 15 minutes. So I may need a partner. I mean, you can be my tattoo artist.
Sure.
Okay. Excellent.
I know a guy.
Oh, at least 9 of them, several. So yeah, that's it right there.
You know what's weird?
What?
Every tattoo I ever got, and I got them from a bunch of different people. Every single one of them, Ryan.
You have the
not
weirdest...
intentional, just every single guy who's ever tattooed me, Ryan.
Wow. Yeah, I guess so.
It almost the last one that I got, it was almost I kind of broke down laughing. I'm like, of course you're Ryan. You had to be Ryan.
You have in your life, you've had names that just permeate in and out.
Ryan tattoos me. Which Ryan? A bunch of them.
All of the Ryans.
I guess from there we'll go on to all the pop culture news you can shake a stick of Ryans at.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
We'll start with some good/sad news.
Yes.
I'm actually going to call it, no, we'll cut it. So I'm going to call it 100% good. Joe Sinnott is retiring.
He's up there, isn't he?
92 years old.
Yeah,
He's been working for Marvel for over 60 years.
That's a hell of a time to retire. Kind of earned it.
I mean, best known as an inker, primarily being Jack Kirby's main inker, But I mean, clearly he's worked well beyond what Kirby did. He was still working literally weekly. He was doing writing and drawing the Spider-Man's newspaper strip.
Okay.
Which is its own weird continuity.
That is weird.
No, I mean...
it was a daily?
I think so. Might be weekly. I think it's weekly. But he was literally doing like this ongoing story, which is bananas. Not that I'm well read on it, but it has its own like
so it's more like
universe.
a Prince Valiant, but like people knew kind of what was happening.
Yeah. Like I said, best known for doing Kirby stuff. He started working with Kirby in Fantastic Four #5. Then they took a break and they brought him back, and he's truly, in my mind, and I think a lot of other people, the greatest inker of all time, also a great storyteller and artist in his own right. But at 92 years old, please enjoy your retirement.
Yeah, you've earned it at 92.
Yeah, I met him a couple times. He seemed very sweet, and he was surrounded by his family at every show that I saw him working at, so it wasn't like just him. And sometimes, like I know I've talked about seeing Stan at shows where it was sad more than anything. Like they were clearly just...
life had passed them by, and they were just
him.
Struggling. Yeah,
but Joe was surrounded by family members and everything, so you never got that sense of abuse, just surrounded by people that loved his work and also with his family who obviously loved him. So please enjoy your retirement. What I would kind of consider the last kind of great pillar of the very early days of Marvel.
Like, would you like Silver Age Marvel?
Yeah, I mean, there's other guys that came in like Romita Sr., but for those kind of like early guys, he's, in my eyes, kind of like the last big surviving like pillar of comics. He's the last Titan. And if he's retiring, good. Please retire and enjoy all the time that you have.
Bully on you.
Yeah. So that's, I know, like it's a little sad. It's like, oh, he's done, creating, but at the same time, he's done his time.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. That's a lot of years. The Flash movie. Oh, that's a thing.
There's a Flash movie?
It's been on and off a bunch. They've lost like 3 directors or something. But the current writer-director team that's on it, well, Flash star Ezra Miller, Justice League's own, doesn't like the script. So he started writing his own script. Has the studio picked it up? No, but he's doing it. And who did he pick up to be his co-writer? You're not going to get this. So
No.
I posed it as a question.
Yeah.
Grant Morrison. He's co-writing it with Grant Morrison for a script that hasn't been picked up.
Where do I know that name from?
Everything. He's done X-Men. He's currently doing Green Lantern. He's done long run on Batman, Justice League, Superman, Animal Man.
Oh, hold on. I got to take this call.
Well, we returned from that phone call.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. I think I put the Batman 66 transition noise in there. It's like doo-doo-doo.
Oh, hello, I'm back.
And that's how, that's what we did. But Grant Morrison has written Flash comics.
Okay.
And he's done a good job at Flash comics. He's one of my favorite writers of at least mainstream stuff. His indie stuff, he's given probably too much free reign because, he likes his drugs a lot.
Well, I mean, he did write The Flash.
But who knows what to make of that news? So a not approved script with Ezra Miller and Grant Morrison. Cool. Speaking of movies, this is, it's a real toss-up for what's the big news of the week, so let's just do them. James Gunn is back.
I saw that. That's huge news.
And there's been like people speculating, well, was he ever fired in the first place? And this was just like putting him in the timeout corner for a while. My response is, yeah, he was probably fired. And my guess is Kevin Feige is the one who kind of got it back because he never seemed to be a voice on board for it. He didn't speak a lot about it, but I think that was more telling.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it also speaks to the power of the fans. That's what they wanted, and the cast and the crew. And I think it's a good way to kind of strike a balance. Like, yeah, he's screwed up a long time ago, but the person he is now is not the person he was then. And he seemed very much,
when he was making those jokes, it's like when he was working for Troma with Lloyd Kaufman, and that whole studio is about like shock humor and kind of like toilet humor and nastiness. Like,
but he definitely has shown contrition, and he wanted to make it right, and he has. And I think that'll be that might be something that even gets woven into the story somehow.
Again, if he was a perpetrator of the things that he was joking about, and just to be clear, the tweets that he sent are poor taste is an understatement. They're in terrible taste. Like, you maybe don't joke about pedophilia. I mean, this was done a while ago. He has apologized multiple times. And I am all about the idea of growth and change and betterment. Like, I don't like the person I was a year ago, let alone the person I was 10 years ago. And I'm sure he probably falls in that same camp.
You don't even like the person you are right now.
Well, I hope that every year I get better in the idea of
That-
change and improvement. I'm all
Change,
about that
improvement, growth, learning. I mean, you just look at how things and culture and people evolve over time. It doesn't stay the same.
I think the Guardians movies are special. And as much as I've been on board for this whole comic book thing for a long ass time, and the idea that it's like the biggest thing in pop culture for me is massive as the person who grew up loving it when it wasn't.
But the other thing,
but yeah,
dare I say, I'm going to go on a limb. The Guardians movies are probably your favorite of the whole MCU.
First Avengers definitely still stands. That's just top to bottom great.
Yeah, but I remember the first time I watched Guardians with you. I think it was Christmas, however many years ago now. You're like, this movie was like it was like Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, I had that when they do that scene in the first one.
Yeah.
That's what I said. It was like the first time I felt like that Star Wars feeling since I saw Star Wars for the first time. When they do that anti-gravity thing in the prison and they float out. And I know that's not like the biggest scene of the movie, but when I saw that, like, it's like, oh, this is
why
my
I feel like
childhood. Like I recaptured that in that moment.
You never really went out to like on a limb to say like you never say anything like that about Avengers. I mean, like from a personal, not like from a structural.
Yeah, probably the first one got the most visceral reaction that I've had.
Yeah.
I also remember like when the first Iron Man came out and I was trying to like convince people like, no, this is great. You should see it. I did a lot of that during the first Iron Man because there was a weird burnout at that point of like terrible mid-2000s comic book movies.
Do you ever watch any of the stuff by that guy with glasses, like Nostalgia Critic?
Some of it. I wouldn't say that I'm well versed, but yeah, I'm aware of it.
He's kind of it's like X-Men month or something. But he did one on.
Ooh, those movies are dull.
But he did one on like how the first X-Men movie was kind of the first decent comic book adaptation movie because that came out before Spider-Man.
I mean, really, Blade is the first one. Everyone wants to ignore Blade.
Yeah, but like family friendly general. I mean,
okay, yes. If you want to go with the family friendly aspect, yeah, I would go with X-Men over Blade.
Although I guess the movie opening up at a concentration camp and a kid freaking out, it's not overly family friendly. But
I remember seeing that in theaters. Being
a teenage girl getting stabbed through the chest by 6 adamantium blades. I guess maybe it's not very family friendly. But it was a real interesting how the movies now are so much more pure to comic book kind of lore. There's still some sizable tweaks, but they're not as big overarching tweaks. There's a lot of source material drawn upon. And it's creating its own story and universe, and kind of the compare and contrast between the two. I think you'd really enjoy it.
Also, speaking of James Gunn, because I want to segue out of that, his Suicide Squad movie is apparently a total reboot. Who the hell knows what's happening in that world? Also, the guy that was running all the Warner Brothers stuff was fired for sexual misconduct, so even more up in the air now.
There's our weekly sexual misconduct story.
Kevin something, I can't pronounce his last name, but no one cares because he's going to disappear from the annals of history forever. But, speaking of X-Men, I think I have our biggest exclusive ever. And this isn't on the internet, and also take this as a rumor. But I think we have an exclusive theme, so I'm going to play it now, or if we don't, I'll just look like a damn fool. Which one was it? I don't know.
I'm hoping it was a damn fool.
I'm in the middle of an interrogation. This moron is giving me everything.
This is an Editor's Note exclusive.
This was information that was given to me this week, and also 100% take this as a rumor. I don't know if it's true. It's not on the internet, because I checked.
Oh, then it can't be anything but true. If it's not on the internet, then it definitely is true.
Also...
Or is it the other way around? If it's on the internet, it's definitely true.
Someone was talking to me this week who I guess knows someone...
Oh, so we're into like somebody who knows somebody who talked to somebody.
Basically.
Oh, boy.
Someone was telling me about someone who worked on this latest X-Men movie, Dark Phoenix, and apparently part of the reshoots came about, again, take this as rumor, I am not stating this as fact, but apparently the reshoots came about because that was originally supposed to be 2 movies and they weren't going to announce that until the first movie ended.
And they decided, you know what, we're not going to make a second.
Once the merger happened, it was the merger, and then they had to do all the reshoots to condense it into one.
That's an interesting insider source that you have.
Again,
a person who knows a person who talked to somebody who might know something.
Not quite that many steps beyond, but let's say it's a 2-step process.
Wow.
I don't know if it's true, but for all the reshoots they had to do and the information that's out there, that would kind of make sense.
But I was reading something today, like Fox will be a standalone company under Disney.
Yeah, because that went through when the time this podcast comes out, that already happened. Like, they are officially fully merged.
Yeah.
But it's still an old universe that they're going to scrap. And they hadn't shot that second movie yet. but they had to reshoot the end of this first movie significantly to make it so it worked as a contained story versus 2 movies.
Huh.
Again, hardcore rumor. I can't confirm it.
So, like, why don't you just say this is a theory? Fan theory.
I'm not going to call it a theory because it's what I was told, and I generally would believe the person that told me. Honestly, I kind of believe it.
It makes sense. I don't not buy it. I mean, it's not so outrageous that it's not plausible.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but we're going to list that as an Editor's Note comic exclusive. I've done some other exclusives that I just...
You can just make the Batman sound.
Nah.
Oh, speaking of Batman, I still have your copy of Batman on Blu-ray. I forgot to bring it over tonight.
Son of a bitch. You're right. There's a hole up there. I forgot about that.
Oh, I have it.
Damn it.
Don't let me forget to bring it next week.
All right, what else do we got? Endgame. Endgame had a trailer.
Did it really now?
I didn't even bother asking. I assume you saw it.
Yes.
Okay, great.
I came in and told you things that I was like...
Oh, that's right, you did.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was 20
I gave you some
ago.
conjecture.
Still not giving us a ton.
No, I mean, I think...
I am changing well, I would say I get 2 things of it, but you do your thing.
All right, 2 things. I think we see the opening of the movie in the trailer, and I think it's Hawkeye with his daughter shooting a bow and arrow. That's probably not too soon before they get ashed.
Yeah, there's probably that seems like it might be a flashback. People are speculating online that it might be Kate Bishop, who is the second Hawkeye. I lean more towards the daughter aspect, though. That's the angle I take.
Yeah, also...
Stupid ass hair. Business on the sides. Party everywhere else.
Well...
What a terrible haircut.
I think you're going to talk about Scarlett Johansson's 3 different types of hair. Which
I mean, we know time passes. This movie is based on her hair, but
it could also...
Oh my God, the Hawkeye hair.
Well, remember how we talked about, I brought up an article I read that Kevin Feige, who's a big Star Trek The Next Generation fan, said that people could maybe perhaps draw parallels from All Good Things.
With the 3 different timelines. Yeah, that'd be great. I'm an All Good Things fan.
It's a great 2-part series finale.
Way better than Generations.
That was not a good series finale. Don't get me wrong, I like Generations better than Insurrection.
Shatner has a joke. He's like, that movie was like Captain Under the Bridge versus Captain to the Bridge.
Yeah.
Something like that.
If I were to rank the 4 Next Generation movies, First Contact, Nemesis, Generations, Insurrection.
100%. 100% agree. We already did a Star Trek show like 3 years ago.
I can't believe we've been doing the show that long. That's incredible.
I can. I spent a lot of money on the equipment.
It's fair. You did.
This wasn't cheap. People talk about like podcasting is free. And my reaction is, no, it ain't.
If you do it cheaply and shoddily like we did for the first 20 episodes.
What were we talking about? Oh, the Endgame trailer. Hawkeye has a stupid haircut. I do get 2 bits of information out of this that I think kind of changed my opinion. One, I've said in the past, I thought that Pepper was going to go to space as the rescue version of Iron Man to get him. But the way that he says, like, I know I said no more surprises, but there's like one more that I want to pull off or something along those lines. Mm-hmm. So I think Tony is responsible for getting back. I think he is probably, when everyone is looking at what we saw in the first or second trailer, I don't even remember now, it's probably him returning. And I also think that we are going to see the Bruce Banner Hulk hybrid for the majority of the movie. When we get everyone walking into line, he is mysteriously absent. We've seen promotional material with the Hulk.
You think it's going to be Smart Hulk?
Yeah. I think we're going to get him from the majority of the movie, and I think he was cut out of all that stuff. That's my guess.
Well, I think that when they are walking outside the Avengers compound, that is 110% the spaceship landing with Gamora and Tony.
Nebula. You meant Nebula.
Yeah, sorry. Gamora's dead.
Or is she?
Maybe she's in the Soul Gem.
I think she is. Maybe we'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, foreshadowing.
I like that we're not really getting a lot, but whenever they're doing like the whatever it takes, I'm like, that's just the theme to Degrassi.
What?
Whatever it takes.
Oh, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I mean, that lets you know that
do we want
anything is...
All those Canadian kids and their teen problems.
I mean, it's just telling you that everything's on the table. Nobody's safe. Do you think that someone's going to die? I feel like there's part of me that the more longer goes on, I don't know if anyone dies.
If I had to take a real stab, I would, based on things we've heard from cast members and directors, my guess would be that Tony dies. But if I had to double guess that, it's that he also becomes an AI, so he only has to do a voice in the future. That is kind of where that's the line I'm drawing.
What about Cap?
I don't think he does.
See, I
think he might get.
Was it you who said that?
Because I think that Bucky or Sam are going to take over as Captain America, but I don't know if it has to go all the way to death. I think maybe coma.
Well, he's already done that.
Yeah.
Was it
he was
you or somebody
frozen.
else that suggested that part of the time travel is he actually gets to go back and get his dance?
I don't think that was me, but I won't throw that out there. Yeah, it seems totally reasonable. I mean, they're all about callbacks to the earlier stuff, and the screenwriters wrote the first Captain America movie.
I'll be real interested to see how they handle the time travel aspect, and then if you're able to go back and watch other movies and see pieces of that in the movies.
It'd be really funny if they went back and they were like, why is Terrence Howard here? Why is Ed Norton here?
Good point.
That'd be amazing.
I think it would only call back as far as like Avengers. Well, no, you might get some. Well, they call back to Tony Stark laying in the desert.
Yeah, I mean, part of that trailer, I think they have such little footage to work from. That's why they did all that flashback crap.
Such little footage. The movie comes out in less than a month.
Yeah, but I think they're trying to hide it. And I think overall they have. Set photos definitely spoiled some stuff.
That's why I've avoided a lot of that. But I think also, too, with that, they could just put out a trailer of just the A coming back from being dust with the Avengers theme, and people are still going to have drove to this movie.
Everyone's going to say this movie's going to make $1.5 billion.
I can certainly see it. I mean, why show anything new in this trailer? I'm glad that there was anything new in this trailer, because you know what? I want to just go in and be a 110% surprise.
You know what I'm going to throw out there?
What?
Bold proclamation.
Okay.
Not adjusted for inflation, because that's important. Not adjusted for inflation. Highest grossing movie of all time.
Wow. That limb you're going out on is really, really thin, Zach.
Not adjusted for inflation.
So you think...
Because Gone for the Wind is still going to kick its ass. Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind?
I said Gone for the Wind.
Yes.
Wrong wind.
Because you're adjusting it for inflation.
If you adjust, then it's not going to make it. But if you just count, total box office numbers, I think it'll be number one of all time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this thing's going to...
Can it kick Avatar's ass? Can it kick its blue ass to hell?
Didn't the last Avengers movie do that?
No. When the first Avengers movie happened, it was number 3. When the second Avengers happened movie, it was number 5. I don't know what the third one was.
Infinity War made over $1 billion.
I had less free time when the last one came out, so I was paying less attention to all-time box office gross.
No, this is going to be the highest grossing Marvel film of all time.
Yeah, I think so. What else do we got? Hey, here's some good news. I guess, screw it, I'll just do that one I was going to do. Donny Cates, we've spoken of him time and time again. He's a hot up-and-comer. Yeah, he does good stuff. But he's going to be doing a Silver Surfer series based on his Silver Surfer from his Thanos run. This was a future Silver Surfer who had gotten Thor's hammer. A badass.
So are we kicking with Cates now instead of gabbing about Bendis?
I guess. Kicking with Cates? Yeah, why not?
Kicking it with Cates.
He also started a cult called the Advocates.
Huh.
It's just on Twitter. I mean, there's also merch, but...
Oh, yeah.
We do talk about Donny Cates a lot. Mostly, he's really good at what he does.
I don't know if you call it a cult or a fan club. I think there's a distinct difference.
He called it a cult.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, him and Trad Moore are going to be doing a Silver Surfer mini, and every time he does anything, it sells out insanely fast. So if you want it, pre-order the sucker. Because, boy, his books always do just gangbusters money. Going back to the movie side of things,
yes.
Kevin Feige has said that post-Endgame, Captain Marvel will be taking leadership of the Avengers, to the surprise of literally no one. Surprise!
So, yeah, that makes...
Yeah, you're surprised.
No, not really.
Okay.
Thanks for asking, though.
More movie news. Wonder Woman 1984 has been said to be not a sequel to Wonder Woman 1, the first Wonder Woman.
But it takes place after.
They say to look at it as like a James Bond movie. It's just a different adventure.
Just like the name James Bond gets passed to different people. It's not just the same James Bond.
Well, it's the same Wonder Woman, but yeah, don't look at it like a sequel. Look at it, it's just another adventure.
Yeah, you know that theory, right? That like 007 isn't one character, it's a moniker passed from person to person.
Yeah, but then they screw it up with like in Skyfall when they were like, look, they're his dead parents, James Bond Sr. or whatever his parents were called.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Skyfall kind of screwed with that theory.
Yeah, but Skyfall's a great movie.
It is. That like random janitor there was originally supposed to be Sean Connery, but he turned it down.
Probably for the best.
No, I'd love to see that.
Well, he's retired.
He is retired. He doesn't look good.
He's old.
I mean, he looks his age, which is very, very old.
You've heard that they've talked about a Highlander remake, right?
Yeah, I think we've talked about that.
Yeah, somebody recently asked Christopher Lambert what he thought about it. Do you know what his response was?
I swear to God, if that's what I think it is, I want to punch him in the dick.
There can be only one.
Son of a bitch.
I thought that was a clever response.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's the most obvious response.
But then I would have responded with, well, then why did you make sequels?
4 of them, at least.
Yeah.
I think 4.
One with Sean Connery.
Gotta be honest, I haven't seen any of the sequels.
Oh.
I've seen the first one, but
The Kurgan is probably one of my favorite villain characters of all time, by the way. Clancy Brown is so perfect in that role. Happy Halloween, ladies. You know, he improvised a lot of that scene.
I don't have a lot of Highlander knowledge tucked
And
away.
people were like legitimately upset, and like he had to apologize afterwards. It's like he makes that Gene Simmons tongue at the nuns.
Yeah. You know what? Go start a Highlander podcast.
There's no need.
It's a 4-part podcast. Real short.
Well, plus you got to talk about the soundtrack.
5 parts. Superman Year 1. It has been officially announced, even though it's been announced like a billion times. I didn't even know why it was a news story this week, because I feel like we already all knew this. Frank Miller is returning to write Superman for, I guess, his first time ever with John Romita Jr., and it's going to be 3 issues. Frank Miller hasn't really done anything great since 1997, so good luck.
It's Superman Year 1, baby. Let's go.
The last Dark Knight book wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. And I love Frank Miller. Frank Miller has done some of my all-time favorite runs, along with most people who like have read comics. I mean, his Daredevil, his Batman, like some of the best stuff of all time.
Watchmen?
That was Alan Moore.
Damn it, I do that every time.
They came out the same year.
Wait. No, wait. Alan Moore also did Killing Joke, right?
Yes.
I got one right.
There you go.
If I've learned nothing else in the last 3.5 years.
But I don't know. I mean, I've kind of fallen off the Frank Miller train as much as I love the work that he's done as both a writer and artist. But
Have I read any Frank Miller? I'm sure I have.
I don't know if we have. Eventually, I wanted to do Dark Knight Returns. I was trying to think of like a good episode to do that because that's, you know, the best of the best. And his Daredevil, my God. Love that stuff. But yeah, we'll see. It's going to be 3 issues. Check it out. It won't be that long. Hopefully it's good.
That's what she said. That's what he said, actually, probably.
A little bit of comic book news. For Marvel's 80th anniversary, they're bringing back some old creators, going back to characters they once worked on. So Chris Claremont, Larry Hama, and Sam Keith will be returning for a Wolverine story, Wolverine Exit Wounds, along with Peter David and Dale Quen for the Incredible Hulk Last Call. Fun. I mean, these are kind of like guys who defined the characters, so 100% on board. And it's definitely out there in the world already. Good reaction, by the way. You just sat there for that one.
Yay! Woo!
All right, Peter David Hulk, what up?
I have no clue. I'm still clueless about 80% of this.
It's okay.
3 years in.
Big announcement that came out or a hint that came out in comics this week.
Ooh, you did tweet about this today, you piqued my curiosity.
I did. I mean, it doesn't matter because by the time the show comes out, it's already out there. Last week, Marvel put out kind of a vague thing in the middle of their books talking about like evolution and whatever, and they were like, oh man, this means a thing. I'm like, it's just one page with some sporadic text. If only there was a creator that reminded me of one page with sporadic text. And then this week they put out a page that was just white page on the font Hickman. Jonathan Hickman is coming back to Marvel, something no one would have predicted. A guy who said he would never ever come back. Who's Jonathan Hickman, you may ask?
Who is Jonathan Hickman?
He's very good. He's a very good writer. He used to be with Marvel. He did probably what I would consider the 3rd best Fantastic Four run of all time.
Let me guess, he had a bad breakup with Marvel.
Oh, he did, yeah. He said he'd never come back, but he's coming back. He led Marvel for years.
This doesn't surprise me, and let me tell you why. Because I've watched enough professional wrestling in my years to know that when somebody says, I'm never coming back, guess who always comes back?
They usually do.
Yes.
I mean, not always. Judd Winnick is still definitely out forever. But, yeah, Hickman led Marvel's books for years, going from about 2012 to about 2016. He was kind of their driving force, and then he left, unhappily. Very publicly, like, lined in the sand, I'm never coming back to Marvel. But guess what? Hickman's back, and he's great. He's such a great writer. He's one of these big concept guys, and he can deliver on what he promises. Okay, Secret Wars was a little bloated. Like, I'll level with you there. But in general, Hickman is great. I'm so excited that he's coming back.
Wow. Good for him.
And they just had these one page. It was like a full page in the book, just Hickman. That's all it said. I was like, oh, he's back.
Well,
I guess indie books didn't pay him that well. I'm sure that's not why he's back. That's why he's back.
everybody's got a price.
Apparently. What do you got to pay Hickman? Probably a good chunk, but he's back. And then that thing we do most months that sometimes I forget about, the top 10 selling comics of February.
The top 10 comics of the month.
We thought it best to break it to you slowly.
Number 10.
Avengers No Road Home #1. My response to that, really? That did that well? Okay.
Oh, that's it? That's
Yeah, no.
number 9.
Uncanny X-Men number 11.
That's uncanny that number 11 is number 9. Number 8.
I was going to say a little bit
more. Oh, okay,
go
ahead.
No, it's okay. I can save it for number 7.
Okay, no, go ahead.
No, I'll wait.
All right, number 8.
Flash 64, crossover with the Batman story. It's all, what's Batman doing? And they respect each other because they're both detectives and scientists.
But Batman's the world's greatest detective.
Well, he's not a forensic analyst, now is he?
He's got the Bat computer to do that for him.
Oh, that helps.
Number 7.
Uncanny X-Men number 12. Continuing the story from Uncanny X-Men number 11 of Wolverine and Cyclops teaming up. They're both alive again while everyone else is in another dimension.
Number 6.
Amazing Spider-Man number 15. Building up Kraven the Hunter, I think, is when that one happened. He's going to hunt some things. That's what he does.
Number 5.
Heroes in Crisis number 6. A lot of anxiety, a lot of dealing with PTSD and heroes, and Wally West is dead, and maybe Booster Gold did it, or maybe Harley Quinn did it. Who knows? Or maybe Wally did it to himself. We don't know.
Number 5.
Yeah, I think so. Venom number 11. I forget what thing you said about Donny Cates before, but that thing. Donny Cates is hot with Venom.
Kicking it with Cates.
Kicking it with Cates. Venom number 11 did some depressing numbers. It's only depressing because the story was depressing. Really depressing.
Number 4.
I think that was number 4. Somehow we got off track here.
Number 3.
Number 3 and number 2 were Batman 65 and Batman 64. It's still Batman. It's awesome. It kicks ass.
You had that pregnant pause. I thought you were done. Sorry. Number 2.
This is Batman 64. 65 and 64. Those were number 3 and 2.
Oh, so you kind of took away my Thunder Front review. And the number 1 comic for the month of February.
The Batman Who Laughs number 3. Number 3. Damn it, numbers. There's an evil Batman and the Joker's dead and Batman's going crazy. And oh man, things are happening. And there's a Batman with guns. There's a bunch of Batmans. Alternate universe Batmans. It's a good series. I like it. Scott Snyder and Jacques are doing it.
Jacques?
That's not his real name.
I like that name, though.
That's why he uses it. He has a real boring, normal name. I forget what it is.
I mean, if I could go by Jacques, I would.
His name isn't just Jacques.
Jacques, like Jacques Cousteau.
All right, that's the news. Oh, wait, I'll give you some more numbers. They're sad numbers. Overall units from last year, are down 8%, and sales are down 6%.
They were up last month from last year, though, weren't they?
Yeah. Year to date are down a little bit. I didn't write that number down, though. But yeah, compared to this month last year, units down 8%, sales down 6%. Buy more comics. And that's the news. That was a lot of news.
There was a lot of news. I'll make it a quick sports report. There's not a whole lot.
All right. So from nerd culture to Jacques culture, we're going into Jared's sports reports.
He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. Bare-chested. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
It's time for another Jared Sports Report.
Yeah, NFL free agency's in full swing, and big name has left Green Bay. One of the prize free agent linebackers, Clay Matthews, has gone to the Rams.
No.
Yeah.
I only said that because my wife is really into Green Bay.
Yeah, I just told her that, and she was very, very, very upset. Oh, by the way,
That's the football team of this house.
Oh, yeah, well. So you want to feel bad about how much money you make?
I feel bad about that every day.
So, have you ever heard of Mike Trout?
Yeah.
He's considered the best player in baseball. He signed a contract today, an extension with the Angels.
I saw this on Twitter. I didn't look into it.
12 years, $430 million.
That's a lot of millions.
That you want to know what that equates down to, what it breaks down to?
Per day?
He makes a little over $1 a second.
Oh, my God.
It's the largest.
Oh, no.
It's the largest
That's
sports
a lot
contract.
of money.
Largest sports contract in the history of North American sports.
Holy crap.
I think it was like $96,000 a day or something like that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. $430 million over the next 12 years.
Jesus.
He's living in L.A. He's the hottest commodity in baseball, probably the best player in baseball. And he's going to make just about $1. That's every day.
No, I understood.
That's not in season. He's making $1 a second.
Oh, my God. He's made so many dollars since we started talking about this.
I would love to make $1 a second for one day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Wow, yeah, okay.
Yeah. The Bruins keep on Bruinsing. The Celtics continue to Celtic.
They lost to the Nuggets, but it wasn't a bad loss.
No.
The fourth quarter fell apart a bit, but it's one of those like process over results things. Like if I had to take a stab in the dark for how the next 3 weeks are going to play out, they're currently the 5th seed and they're within like 2 games of 3 and 4. Looking at everyone's schedule, I think they'll get the 4th seed. I think Philly will stay at Philly will get 3rd, Pacers will get 5th, It'd be nice if the Celtics get third, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Lest we forget, is also NCAA tournament March Madness time.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up this weekend, actually.
Duke.
Yeah,
it's all about Duke, baby.
Duke, North Carolina.
Zion.
Gonzaga. Man, he is good. He is special. That Duke North Carolina championship game in the ACC championship was phenomenal.
Did you see the clip when his shoe exploded? I forget whose shoe was he wearing.
He was wearing a Nike. I think it was a.
It wasn't a
Durant.
Kyrie.
I think it was Kevin Durant.
But Obama was at that game, and you can find video. He just points. He just goes, "His shoe broke."
Yeah.
It's my favorite clip ever.
Yeah,
his shoe broke.
But college players can't get paid. He could have lost years of his career there wearing a shoe that. I mean, it's free, so I guess But
now he's got to switch to those Kyries. Oh, Isaiah Thomas returned to Boston.
Oh yeah, they had a nice.
He got a little
nice ceremony for him last night.
It was nice.
And they won.
Yeah, Denver won.
It seems to be whenever they pay tribute to you, you win. Except for Dirk. Dirk didn't win.
That was nice. He got glassy-eyed, and he made it very clear. He's like, gosh, if I ever come back to Boston, that city I want to come back to, because I just want to recapture that glory. If I ever came back to Boston, I want to come back to Boston. Danny! Want to come back to Boston, Danny!
Danny Cates?
No.
Danny Ainge.
That'd be the one.
Kicking it with Cates.
And
Angsty Ainge.
Is Ainge angsty?
At times, I'm sure he is.
I think he's just a cutthroat businessman.
Well, he was also a cutthroat basketball player. You ever watch any of the old Celtic stuff, like the 80s, early 90s?
It's fun to watch. Yeah, highlight clips.
Usually there's good on like NBC Sports Boston. They have good pieces on the 86 Celtics. A lot of fun to watch. Anyway, yeah, outside of that, Maine high school sports are starting up. Baseball and softball this week. Everybody else next week.
Do they ever leave?
Yeah, they do for a little bit, like a couple weeks at a time. I was quoted in the paper this week. That was cool.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know. I get more publicity than you.
I like my anonymity.
Yeah, I guess you do.
But I want to be a successful businessman. Where do I draw the line?
Angsty Zach.
Ainge, help me. Danny!
Oh, no. Oh, that's it for sports reports.
All right, moving on from there.
Oh, you want to... So I almost went... I was invited, and I almost went to this event tonight. A friend of mine and has a group of people, and they do what's called an auction.
I've heard of these auctions.
A Calcutta auction to buy NCAA teams, and you get a percentage of the pot. Do you want to take a guess as to what the total pot was generated?
No idea. $31 million.
$27,000.
Well, I was a little high.
You were. So you can buy teams. Somebody at this auction bought Duke for $1,900. That's an investment.
Moving on. Since Avengers Endgame is rapidly coming upon us, we're going to go back and look at the very first time Thanos had his ass handed to him in Marvel 2-in-1 Annual Number 2 in a Jared's Reading Corner.
It's Jared's Reading Corner.
Yay, I love to read.
That's the biggest lie you've ever said.
I do love to read.
For those who don't know, Marvel 2-in-1 was a thing book, essentially, a spin-off series from the Fantastic Four where he would team up with a different hero every month. Sometimes,
because wasn't the thing was didn't they do that with the Human Torch too?
They tried that in Strange Tales and it didn't go well. It went terribly. We read about that and it wasn't good.
Oh, okay.
Eventually,
I'm trying to get it all.
Yeah, Strange Tales was the first attempt. They were like, well, clearly the most popular character of the Fantastic Four is the Human Torch, and this will go great.
All the kids love him.
And then we got Plant Man and Paste Pot Pete.
Oh, friggin' Plant Man and Paste Pot Pete. That's some real horse there.
But instead, Marvel 2-in-1 went for 100 issues, not including annuals. It's a great series overall. There's some duds in there, as there were with everything. But Marvel 2-in-1 Annual Number 2 was the first time Thanos was beat. It was written and drawn by Jim Starlin. It came out in December 1977. And the way we're reading this, in a very poorly titled graphic novel, Avengers versus Thanos. This isn't just a compilation of, times that they met up. This graphic novel, which I highly recommend, captures all of Jim Starlin's original stuff. He is very much credited with being the guy who created the Marvel Cosmic Universe. And this story threaded itself through a ton of different books, whether it's Adam Warlock, Captain Marvel, Daredevil, Marvel 2-in-1, a bunch of other crap, Avengers. This story, this original Thanos story, spanned most of the Marvel Universe. And back in the day when you were reading it, hard to come up with all the issues.
Would you say he was the primary villain?
Thanos?
Yeah.
No.
The primary Marvel villain?
No.
Or just one of the most popular?
He was Starlin's baby. Starlin was the guy who definitely did everything with him. So when you see this graphic novel, Avengers versus Thanos, what it really is Jim Starlin's first complete arc, kind of before Thanos one? No, it's not that. Whatever happened right before Infinity Gauntlet, that one. Basically, it's his first total complete story. Highly recommended. The only downside of it is because, like I said, this story did span so many books. Like the first 4 pages are just recap of what happened before. So if you're reading them one after another, you can basically skip the first 4 pages of every single story because it just explains everything back to you. Like, yeah, no, I just read it.
No, yeah, it's like kind of there was a lot of
because they didn't have the internet back in the day. And also,
a lot of flashback.
This didn't connect with a lot of books. It's a great series, great story, highly recommended. But we were going to talk about the ending and one friggin' epic comic.
It was massively epic. A lot of things happened in it.
I didn't read this. Well, I mean, I did. So I just go into these guessing.
Okay, so like, how much do you want me to like
spoil the hell out of this?
Spoil the hell out of it. All right, so we start with Peter Parker rolling around in bed and having this flashback dream thing, perhaps
about 4 or 5 pages explaining the story thus far.
Yes, about everything that's happened up until this point.
The Avengers have been kidnapped. Thanos has beaten them down. Whatever will he do?
He's
a Marvel 2-in-1, so he has to go to the Thing.
Yeah, so he goes to the Thing.
And the Thing is reading Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
This is popular around this time. He read a lot of Stephen King and got scared, and sometimes people would distract him.
You didn't let me finish. Okay. He wasn't really dreaming so much as he found out it was being projected by Moon Woman.
Moon Dragon.
I was close.
Daughter of Drax.
Yeah,
bald-headed lady.
So Moon Dragon is obviously she doesn't have hair because she's using all her telepathic powers and it just fell out like Professor X.
That's what they said.
Oh, okay.
Those terrible movies.
But he's projecting it all to...
She's projecting it.
She's projecting it all to him. And so he's like, oh, I guess I've got to go help because I'm more than just but I'm only your typical neighborhood Spider-Man. So he decides, yep, got to go to the Thing because I know the Fantastic Four have spaceships. There's also floating space heads. Lord Chaos and somebody else.
What I like about this is it does really portray Spider-Man as, a street-level character, something that the movies, I think, tried to hint at more than they accomplished. Of saying that, Spider-Man really is an on-the-ground kind of hero. And the Fantastic Four, like space and time adventurers, he's like, this is out of my depth.
Yeah.
I gotta go to the space people.
So he goes to the space people, and really
just the Thing.
Yeah, only the Thing.
Forget the rest of them.
Yeah, they're not even there. They just like make a little bit of a mention of like, oh yeah, I thought Reed was supposed to make this place impenetrable, but here you are coming in here and making me swallow my cigar.
He literally swallows the whole thing.
Yeah, and then
that stogie is in his gullet.
And then he coughs out all the smoke, and then he has a cup of coffee with Peter Parker.
Nothing like coffee in your belly after swallowing a cigar.
And you got to put it out. So he's like, oh yeah, we got a spaceship, and Reed wants me to test pilot it.
Let's go to space.
Which, by the way, last time they test piloted a rocket, didn't they get their powers?
Yeah. So Ben's good at this sometimes.
So they end up on what's called the Ark, the space Ark.
I think what? No, they call I forgot what the ship is called.
Oh, somebody called it an Ark.
They go to Thanos' spaceship and he's like, "Hey."
Yeah. So
Thanos.
They show up and there's Thanos, and then Ben's like, "Oh, okay, let's fight all these weird space goons." And he kicks the door off the spaceship, so they really have no way to get back to Earth.
Good job, Ben.
Real dumb. And Thanos is like, oh, I see what's going on here. Well, I'm going to fight you guys, too.
He's got a bit of swagger to him.
Yes. Also, that's a weird-looking communicator that Thanos has there.
Looks like a wang.
A silver device.
It really does.
Yeah. And he's got a weird gleam in his eye. Of course, I love this because it kind of like it's kind of it's not a callback because it happened before, but it reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy when there's no gravity and they're all fighting and flying around, and then the Thing gets shot by a space gun. So that sucks for the Thing.
And he's out. And Spider-Man, he goes, "Well, I don't really like space stuff, so I'm out of here."
Well, you forgot the part where we find out Adam Warlock, who is allegedly dead, is not dead so much as he's inside the Soul Gem.
Yeah, some people...
Because the Soul Gem was inside of him.
Because when you kill people, sometimes around the Soul Gem, they go inside of it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's important for a movie that's upcoming.
But anyway, inside the Soul Gem, he's with Gamora. I didn't know he had a thing for Gamora. He didn't have a thing for pants. I know that much.
And Pip the Troll is in there.
Yeah, Pip the Troll. But yeah, Adam Warlock not wearing pants. And then I made a comment, oh, by the way, Beast is here? Yeah, because Beast, Vision, Thor, they're all there, and they're all kind of in like a stasis.
They were defeated and kidnapped in the last Avengers issue that happened before this. So all the Avengers are out. Spider-Man leaves because he's like, no space for me. And you think it's going to be like a weird misdirective. It's like, oh, well, this is just part of a sneaky plan. But no, it's not. He just entirely just
Well, this happened after,
leaves.
You skipped over a big part where Thanos has the soul gem, and he wants to use the soul gem to power his weapon to make the sun go nova and kill all life in the solar system. That's kind of important.
Yeah, it's a negative.
It's not positive, but Thanos fights the Thing, and the Thing totally dick punches him and loses. So Spider-Man's like, well, I saw what he just did to Thing. I'm out. I have no chance. So then he ends up having this big inner monologue, which I kind of like. He's like, man, I could die. Well, of course, then if I leave, I'm going to die anyway. What can I do? So I'm going to free Thor.
He breaks all the Avengers out of stasis, and all the Avengers and Spider-Man and the Thing kick the crap out of Thanos.
Oh, that's a mighty fight.
There's some damn fine art.
It's a hell of a Donnybrook, I'll say that. Eventually, Thor and Thing get Thanos cornered, and they both uppercut him. And, well, that was quite a mistake, because then he uses his solar beams, his destructive eye beams. I love this line. Die, life-living simpletons. That's some real massive smack talk there, Thanos.
And he beats everyone up, and Adam Warlock comes out of the soul gem.
Well, you forget.
Flaming.
But you know who frees him from the soul gem? Peter Parker.
Spider-Man.
Nope. He frees him out of the soul gem, and Adam Warlock is as jacked as ever, as naked as ever, and he's on fire. And then he just grabs Thanos and turns him into granite.
Granite that can cry. He does roll a single
a single tear. And then he goes back to
the soldier. He's like, well, all right, my work here is done.
And I'm dead.
You're stoned now. Hope you don't come back for Infinity Gauntlet.
We've defeated you for all time.
Yeah. I mean, the ending feels a little bit rushed. It's like, I'm here. Now you're stoned. All right, I'm gone. But all in all, this is one of the most epic issues to come out of the 70s, single issues. It's insane. The art's nuts. The team-ups are great. I mean, the whole issue like ebbs and flows, like who's going to win, and it goes back and forth. And for Thanos' first defeat, it's pretty spectacular.
It's actually really big defeat, too.
And I do think this is going to tie into Endgame. If I had to take a stab in the dark, I'm going to say that Gamora is going to come out of the Soul Gem, and she's going to be the one to defeat him. Also, I'm throwing down a lot of Endgame proclamations this episode, but I'm throwing that one out there, too. I think it's going to be Gamora coming out of the Soul Gem.
I would not be surprised. That makes sense. There's that scene in Infinity War where baby Gamora talks to him, and I feel like that happens inside the Soul Gem.
Yeah, possibly.
Is Thanos dead?
No, he's fine. He's
he
alive.
had Stormbreaker lodged in his chest.
Well, he should have gone for the head.
Yeah, that was such a great way to do that. The snap too,
or the arm. Cut that arm off.
It could have done that. Yeah,
I get what he's going for. Just go for the middle, but
yeah. Plus, he was also having to power it through a blast from the Infinity Gauntlet. So there's that.
But that's Marvel 2-in-1 Annual number 2, part of the Avengers vs. Thanos graphic novel, which, read the damn thing. It's great.
Shockingly, it's on sale at your local comic book store.
It is, but it's great. It's a really great graphic novel that collects this terribly named. I wish it was named better. Be like, hey, this is Jim Starlin's whole first Thanos story. Read it if you want to find out about Thanos.
The whole book is?
Yeah, entire thing. That's all.
There's no Infinity Gauntlet in here, though.
This is all pre-Infinity Gauntlet by 15 years-ish, a little more, maybe 18.
Yeah, but this is called Death Watch.
That one issue.
Yes,
but it's damn fine, and I think you should read it.
Is it fine like Mickey? Hey, Mickey, you're so fine.
No,
I liked it, and having not read anything previous into it, it's a nice little story. I enjoyed it. Good fight, good art.
Watching a big purple guy get his ass handed to him. All right, from there, it is time to move on to letters to the editors.
Lot of questions, number one. Damn few answers.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Make it so.
I'll throw this out because I had to do my research on it. Let's see if you can give a close to correct answer.
Okay. Again, this is another week where you haven't given it to me in advance.
Well, this one I did it on purpose.
Okay.
In the first Iron Man, you may have recognized a Terrence Howard.
Yes.
And then he was replaced in Iron Man 2 and beyond. Why was Terrence Howard replaced in Iron Man?
I think I had read this somewhere before. I just can't remember. Was it like a contract dispute?
Yeah, but I mean, if there's anything every party agrees on, it's that.
Okay.
But beyond that, it's vague.
Oh, okay.
In the first Iron Man movie, and I think this part I'm going to count as kind of true down the line. In the first Iron Man movie, it's well known that Robert Downey Jr. was a questionable commodity, coming off of arrests and heavy drug use, and arrests about his heavy drug use.
Wasn't it Sylvester Stallone that paid the insurance for him?
I am not going to say that as a definite. Possibly, but I'm not going to off the top of my head.
Anyway.
But Robert Downey Jr. did not make the most money off of Iron Man because he was an unknown quantity, whereas Terrence Howard did. Marvel is also relatively famous for underpaying actors in their first go-around as a character.
Yeah.
And then having kind of a sliding scale going up. Or you could be Robert Downey Jr., who, because of his unknown quantity, and boy, he's made out with this, has been contracted movie to movie, and he has made insane money, and that's part of why everyone who signs a Marvel deal now has like a 6 to 9 picture deal, no matter who you are, because they don't want to get stuck in another Downey Jr. situation where you can basically just, rob them.
Yeah, pretty much.
But originally, Downey didn't make that much. Terrence Howard made the most for the first Iron Man, and then we get to the second one.
He made more than the dude.
Jeff Bridges?
Yeah, he made more than Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, he made the most on the movie.
Okay.
If you listen to Terrence Howard's version of this, is that he was contracted for a 3-picture deal for an increased amount of money, and Marvel said, yeah, we're going to give you less than that because this movie is going to be successful with or without you.
And there he goes.
The other side of it is saying that Terrence Howard, based on the success, asked for a lot more money and was fired because of his salary increase request. Which one is it? I'm going to say no one really knows.
I don't think you're ever going to get a clear answer.
The parties involved probably know, or maybe they don't because of ego. Not
the Living Planet?
No, not him.
Okay.
But there's still nothing. I'm not going to say there's anything that's definitive out there because we have conflicting reports. And without being in the room, I don't think we're going to get better than conflicting reports.
No, that's that.
Yeah. So that's the answer. The answer is money. But who you want to believe, I don't know.
But it did revitalize Robert Downey Jr.'s career. It allowed him to go on and make other movies. And
Don Cheadle's better in this role anyway.
Oh, yeah. I like Don Cheadle in the role. And
so we got an upgrade. We got a fun upgrade.
They were writing and rewriting.
We got a Hotel Rwanda upgrade.
They were writing and rewriting the script and like ad-libbing stuff, like leading up to days they would shoot stuff.
Yeah.
But here, I'll give you a question. This is a Twitter question I came across this week.
Okay.
It came from the Sesame Street Twitter account. If you had to choose between the following 4 to be stuck on a desert island with, who would you choose? And these were the 4 options: Oscar the Grouch, Cookie Monster, Elmo, or Grover.
Grover. He becomes Super Grover.
Yeah. See, that's the answer a lot of people have.
Oscar, given. He's bringing trash to the table. Elmo just wants to be tickled, and the other one.
Cookie Monster. Okay, so here's my rationale for Grover.
What's he got to do? He's just going to eat all your rations quickly. Screw him.
Yeah, but he's big and
Super
tall.
Grover.
He might be. Yeah, I know. I said Grover too because Grover's also optimistic, and you kind of need that optimism in that. I said that there was a strong case to be made. Elmo was flat out no. Straight away, Elmo, no. He's a child.
He wants to be tickled.
That's also discomforting, but I made a small case for Oscar. Despite his attitude problem, he's an experienced forger who can make things, he's able to see the value in things that might not otherwise have value for people.
So what broken English is tickle me Elmo?
Anyway.
Bad English.
That tickles. I can't do a good Elmo without yelling into the microphone. But anyway,
Fine.
Oscar.
Elmo says, Elmo, that tickles. I'm useless. Elmo.
I do a better Kermit. But Oscar.
Katy Perry chased me once and it was cut from the air.
Oh no, that's terrible. Did I ever show you the Wilkins coffee commercials?
Yes, you did.
Oh, those were awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know about those. Those are great.
The one where he shanked the guy. Some people learn and some people don't. No, Oscar could forage and he's also already green, so he could camouflage and hunt things for you.
All right, we done?
Yeah, we're done.
We done.
All right. Well, if you like the show, please go to patreon.com/editorsnotecomics and support our endeavors. $1 a month gets you this show a whole week early, plus podcast exclusive spoiler and spoiler-free reviews of Buffy releases and other...
And Firefly.
Really,
too. You always feel like, I don't know, some stuff.
And some stuff.
I got to record one of those right after this.
You can also check out the store, 210 Water Street in Hollowell. Plus, you can find Zach online on all of the internets at editorsnotecomics.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
That's a website I put together.
It is a website you put together. And
mediocrely, it's not that good.
It's okay.
It's not
it's
a great
not bad.
website.
Yeah.
Look, you have I'd say you get all the information you need.
Are you worried about flooding this week with all the rain at the store? I know you're high enough up, probably.
Not the store, but
no,
the house.
Are you going to park your car down behind the store the next couple of days, when the threat of flooding happens? You saw what happened last year, man.
We'll see.
The Fiesta would not stand a chance against the mighty Kennebec.
No, we'll see. I mean, it depends on the day.
Okay.
And you're on Twitter.
@JuniorRich.
We'll be back next week to talk about a movie. in our slowly released ongoing series about it's Batman Returns. I don't know, I'm being coy. We're just doing Batman Returns.
Oh,
Batman. No.
That's a Christmas movie.
No. Not a good movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
Spoilers. We'll be back. Bye.